We're live from Arrow Arena on a Saturday afternoon for the Ashland Arrows and future OCC foe, the Dover Crimson Tornadoes. I'm Chris Mowry, joined alongside, as always, by Brandon Wells. BW, good to have you today, buddy.
My man. Hey, I am excited, as always, to be watching basketball and talking basketball with you. We have a great matchup today, Chris. This is one that we have had circled on the schedule as both of these teams have just gotten better and better record-wise. And this is a test for both squads, and the Arrows thankfully have this one at home against, I won't say OCC opponent, but future OCC opponent, the Dover Crimson Tornadoes.
You're joining us on the Ashland Arrows Broadcasting Network, presented by Sarver Paving. Today's game is brought to you, as always, by Hedstrom Entertainment, having unplugged fun for over 100 years. And this is the Ashland Eye Care pregame show. Thank you to Dr. Dan Denbo, proud AHS alum, and his staff over at Ashland Eye Care. They'll take care of all your vision needs. Let's get right into the program. Let's get a quick look at the Arrows record. Conference standings brought to us by Whitaker Myers. Since 1869, providing solutions for your investments and insurance needs. Offices in Ashland and Booster.
All right, well, your Arrows are sitting atop the OCC at 7-0. Perfect so far run through the OCC, or run through the jungle, as John Fogerty might say. New Philly, 4-2, right behind them a couple games, I should say. Madison at 4-3, West Holmes 3-3, Lex 3-3, Mansfield Senior 1-5. This is my Sean McDonough. And Worcester 1-6.
This is my Chris Mowry. I forgot the broom today. I should have brought the broom.
What do you mean? This isn't an OCC game.
We swept the OCC conference foe, Lexington.
Oh, yeah, that's a shame. What a big one that was at Cates. Yeah, the Arrows played great basketball, and they were fully... You know, when we played Lex the first time, we didn't have everybody. We had some injuries. We still
won, though.
Still snuck out a very close victory, but a victory's a victory, right? And Thursday night at Ashland University's Cates Gymnasium, the Arrows pounded.
17-point pounding.
Pounded that team in purple and gold down south. Well, Coach Holt's used to winning over there.
Coach Holt doesn't lose on the floor of Cates Gymnasium, and she made sure that her Ashland Arrows got the memo, which they did. Hey, you're joining us, as always, from the Pre-Stennel broadcast booth high atop the perch here inside Arrow Arena. And today, you normally have a pregame or a halftime guest presented by Wickham and Hess. Today, we do not. But we do, Brandon, have the jazz band on hand, which is always a treat here inside Arrow Arena. We'll have them presented in their entirety at halftime, courtesy of Bill Harris. And reminder, you can watch all your favorite Arrow athletics at the South Street Grill. They show football, they show boys and girls basketball, and in the spring, wink, wink, they'll probably, most likely, yes, be showing baseball as well.
And maybe you might want to go down there this summer and
Thursday nights.
Check out every third Thursday, the Low E Band. Yeah.
And I'll just break some news right now.
Uh-oh.
We might be seeing Coach V's staff and players for the preview show for the football squad on the patio where Low E drums and strums.
Oh, it's happening. It's on like Donkey Kong, as they say.
JV contest we watched here, the tail end of that this afternoon, and Dover had their way with our Lady Arrows JV squad.
Yeah, the Sarver Paving paved the way forward. A rough one for the JV squad, and you know, you can sometimes tell a lot by a JV squad, but not always. But boy, tonight, or today I should say, the Dover Crimson Tornadoes, they were definitely a tornado we were not prepared for. It was a E5, F5, whatever the heck you want to call it, all the things. It was bad. They came in and knocked our socks off from the start of that one to the end, and sometimes you just get overmatched. But it does tell you something about a program usually when you have that much talent and that much ability and structure and the ability to play well and culture that goes up and down. The Dover ladies were really good in that JV game.
Well, clearly the Academy's taught you many things in life. I'm curious about this trivia question. There is an F for F4, F3, F5. What is the F known as? I'll have that for 1,000, Alex. The Fujita scale, my friend. Fujita scale measures the wind speed, much like the Hurricanes.
Is that
and
after
such.
Scott Fujita, former Browns linebacker?
No, he could no, he had far too much hair for any of that stuff. That tornado would have ripped all that lettuce off, that's for sure. Hey, let's give thanks to our sponsors who make this possible. Sarver Paving, Hedstrom, Ashland Eye Care, Whitaker Myers, Priest Dental, Wickham and Hess, South Street Grill, Goldberry Roasting, Andrew Bush's local law office here in Ashland, Chandler Systems Inc., Truly Inspired Paper Company, Valley Transportation, Linway Restaurant, Simonson Construction, Bill Harris Dealerships, Sprang Smith Insurance, Connery Manufacturing, BB&C Car Care, Coldwell Banker Ward Real Estate, Janney, Truex Printing, and finally, Bo Lacey Construction. Brandon, time for that part of the show, the Goldberry Roasting Injury Report. Don't have any injuries, thankfully, for these Arrows. We played injury bug here early in the season, but thankfully everybody healthy, and Coach Renee Holt's squad ready to get going on the other side for Dover. They've been battling a little bit of injury bug. We got some projected starters from head coach. Projected starters from head coach Kyle Dumermuth, and we'll see if that does come to fruition. We'll get to that here shortly, but thanks to Goldberry Roasting, Ashland's locally owned and award-winning coffee shop here in Ashland, for joining us all season long.
Well, yeah. I mean, I started my morning over there like I do a lot of mornings, and so does my family. But yeah, South Street and Goldberry, a couple of fantastic sponsors, and the Arrows are fortunate that we're back to full health, because that injury report brought to you by Goldberry was pretty full earlier in the season, and right now everybody's ready to go.
Yeah, the first broadcast that we did, it was 3-4 deep, and everybody back to full health, so that's fantastic here. Let's get a quick look at the AHS player profile. That's going to be Grace Tobias today, brought to you by Andrew Bush Law Office, your hometown law office leader right here in Ashland. Favorite thing as always, Brandon, it's the bus rides, man. It's the bus rides and game days.
Well, yeah, you don't often, I mean, you remember some of the games and some of the things, but you remember the bus rides, you remember the team dinners, you remember the locker room antics, and just the fun and camaraderie that is really hard to replicate as you get out of school and you get out of college, if you go to college, because there's just, you start to work with people that are not all in the same age group, not going through the same things, right? I've been reading about friendship a lot lately, and one of the things that's really cool about, you know, the high school level, the college level for those athletes is all that time is that bunker mentality that gets put together by those groups, and you never quite replicate that. Most people don't. It's actually why I really love being in a band. It's why I love working in groups and in teams.
I'm a child of the 80s and the child of the 90s. That is spoken like gospel to me. That's how I grew up. But I'll tell you, she is a fan of the Cleveland Guardians, the Cleveland Indians. She's a big fan of. And what I thought was most impressive on there, her role model, 93-year-old grandpa, Grandpa Cloyd McNall. How cool is that?
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's pretty awesome, frankly, that she still has her grandpa at 93 years young and is able to still pour wisdom into young Grace. So that's fantastic. Student section, the theme is brought to us by Sarver Paving. Guess what, guys? It's all orange down there. There is no students here today.
Well, there are. Look, they're over there in the band.
Yes.
We'll just say that. Look, today's student section is the pep band, the jazz band. That's fine. We're all right with that, right? I think we can say that. Look, it's Bill Harris that presents the band, but guess what cars drive on?
The road.
Pavement, Chris. Pavement. Sarver Paving student section.
You've never been on the Autobahn, my friend. They all make them concrete over there. There's no potholes in Deutschland. Hey, quick keys to the game since we're talking about Sarver Paving, serving North Central Ohio for 75 years. Under a minute on the clock. What do you got, buddy?
Well, for the Arrows, number one, second chance points. Attack the boards. You've got a definitive size advantage inside, I think, today, and some really good rebounders with Cam Cox, Lauren Green, Kennedy Lacey. You've got some really good rebounding ability on this squad. So I think you want to go for second chance, crash the boards on the offensive side, and limit Dover to 1 on the defensive side. For the Tornadoes, balanced attack. They don't have anybody averaging 15 to 20. They've got a couple in the double digits, and then in that 5 to 10 range. So balanced attack, and stay with that balanced attack. That's it, Chris.
National anthem brought to us by Chandler Systems, Inc., locally owned and serving Ashland and the region and nationally for over 40 years. We're going to mute ourselves, let you join in and listen to the pep band as they play the Star Spangled Banner.
On behalf of the Ashland City Schools Board of Education and the administration of Ashland High School,
Star Spangled Banner handled by the Jazz Band. They are undefeated, as we say in all these broadcasts. PA announcer Dan Chandler getting ready to announce the starters and reserves here to the home crowd. Let's get a quick look at starting lineups presented by Truly Inspired Paper Company. Wedding invitations and business cards and everything in between. Offices in Ashland and Loudonville. Check out the voice of the Falcons, Zach Truax, for his company. What do you got, BW?
Cam Alba, Rachel Pfeiffer, Ava Zobel, Ansley Bolin, Morgan Karam over on the Crimson Tornadoes side. And for the Arrows, Grace Tobias, who moved into that starting lineup early on in the season. Followed up with Kennedy Lacey, the Mamba, Lauren Green, CeCe Story, and Cam Cox. Arrows have been pretty consistent with that starting lineup since everybody's been healthy over the last few weeks, and it's shown. That's why they're 9-3, 7-0 in the conference, Chris. They are playing really well. Renee Holt in her 5th season. Hard to believe at this point, right? 5 seasons in.
Special hello to Aunt Katie. She says she's missed this, BW, and here we are. We're back, and glad she's tuning in from Kentucky. You know what, Brandon? When they say you're good, it's when you stack win on top of win on top of win, and then you're known as a good team. These Lady Arrows are a good team, winners of their 8 of their last 10. Pretty impressive.
Well, and this was one that is a bit more of a test, right? Lexington's okay. They're not bad, right? But, like, this is a test today. This is one of those games as you're getting ready. You got a couple weeks before I think 2 weeks before the seeding for your new sectional alignment and how that's all going to shape out. And so this is one that you want to pull in. It's going to be a good barometer of where we are, right? This is one of the better teams on our schedule. So you want to come out and see what you got today, Chris.
You know, let's look at Dover, who they beat. They knocked off West Holmes. And then they lost back-to-back contests early in the season against Tuslaw and John Glenn. And then they thrashed New Philly, beat Dalton, beat Carrollton, beat Madison, beat Indian Creek, Washington.
Yeah.
They've had some good opponents on their schedule, and they've taken care of everybody. Their last game, though, keep in mind, they did lose to Steubenville by 11, 44-33, so they're coming off a loss.
Steubenville? Yeah, they are. I think when you're facing a team coming off of a loss, 2 things can happen, right? They're either in a little bit of a lull, that can happen, or they come back a little more hungry and ready to rock. And, you know, hopefully for the Arrows, they're coming to hitting them maybe at a down time. But honestly, I want to see us against a full-on Dover team that's ready to roll.
I think both squads are going to be amped up. I think both squads know what today means, and both squads have a big asterisk next to this game in terms of seeding. Not only today for these Arrows, but Monday when you and Dave Swartz will be here calling the game against Tri-Valley. That's another monster game here in terms of seeding for Coach Renee Holt's Arrows. 2 back-to-back games against very good programs. This Dover squad, as you mentioned, is 9-3. Our hometown Arrows are 9-3. We're 7-0 in the OCC. On pace to have an OCC title. 2-game lead inside the conference, but on pace to have our first OCC title in 30-plus years.
Best start in 30 years for this Arrows squad on the girls' side, and you better believe it, they're ready to try to take the OCC.
We're just about ready to get it underway. The tip-off brought to us by Linway Restaurant. Team colors also brought to us by Linway Restaurant. Arrows decked in their home whites with black trim. The Tornadoes in their familiar scarlet and gray look. Gray is the uniform main color and trimmed in gray. Inside center circle, Kennedy Lacey and Ava Zobel, and that ball is controlled by Lacey, and CeCe Sturry's got it. We're underway. Officials for today's game brought to you by Valley Transportation. Father-son duo, Jalen Reese, JT Reese, and the familiar Kevin Lehman on hand here inside Arrow Arena.
Reese, I think the elder was the coach at Mansfield Senior.
Yep.
Had a run there.
Had a run there, and then he was taken over that position by Coach Sykes. Cameron Cox up off the Ward Real Estate glass, and that one's converted for 2.
Really nice job by the Arrows being patient and really good entry pass on a bounce pass to Cox, who had nice footwork and finished off the board.
Mamba gets into passing lane, tries to poke out away, but Dover does come back down with it.
Cam Cox using that glass. Looks like the Arrows are in a zone here, Chris.
Something we don't see all the time.
Yep, a little 1-3-1, which I love the 1-3-1, I think. It might be kind of a matchup zone.
Here's Zobel off the glass, no good. That ball controlled by who else? The Mamba, and here she comes the other way in a hurry. Madison Hoffman's the one that Grace Tobias has come in and played for in the starting lineup, I should say. But Madison has found her role, and Mamba goes off the glass, off the window, converted for 2, give her 2 points, and the Arrows a 4-0 lead. But Madison has found her way, coming to being the sixth lady off the bench here, and really found her home, if you will.
Well, as somebody who can really score, and she's an offensive player, not a bad defender either, don't get me wrong, but when you have somebody like that can shoot and score, it's a great asset to come off the bench like that. And I think, it fits this Arrows squad with her coming and still getting a lot of time, but it takes some humility to move to the bench.
Just like with the guys, it's nice to bring a Garrett Davis off the bench or a Madison Hoffman. You get some more scoring, right, for your squad.
Yeah, I agreed. Agreed, Chris. That's a good comparison.
I'm in the comp business, BW.
First quarter brought to you by Comfort Control. We had Joe Reap up here yesterday talking about taking over as the president of the Ashland All Sports Booster Club.
Really awesome. He's going to do a fantastic job. Piper tries to go on the deck towards the goal, doesn't get it there, gets it stolen, and here's a little bounce pass into Grace Tobias. Left hand up and in. 6-0 Ashland.
Take a look at that replay. Great job here by Lauren Green, looking forward, and what a finish with the left. Grace Tobias.
Maybe we just need to start calling these Lady Arrows names, and then it just converted right there on cue. Grace Tobias, left hand off the glass. The Ward Real Estate bank shot converted.
Sometimes happens with the guy Arrows.
It sure does. Short. Cameron Cox pulls that board down. Lauren Green running. They have a foul called here against Dover. Number 10, Ava Zobel's going to pick up her first. Zobel averages, good player for this squad, 7.5 points a game, gets 4.5 boards a game, and 4.5 assists. So pretty good do-it-all player here for the Tornadoes. South Street Grill is in action today. Might have to go there this evening.
That's not a bad idea, my
friend. Not at all. Lacey, little floater on the baseline, converted. Kennedy's got 4, and the Arrows have an 8-0 lead.
Well, you couldn't ask for a better start right now. That three-quarter court pressure right now, a little 1-2-2 with Grace up front. Good job by the Tornadoes, taking their time.
I always thought on the 1-3-1 full court press, the best person or the best position was the deep person.
Well, and look at it now. They're definitely, it's a 1-2-2, I think, that they're dropping into. It's just with some principles where it looks like a 1-3-1 because Cam Cox has to come up to guard the high post. And so she's kind of coming high and low, and you have that baseline runner in a 1-3-1. But here it is a bit more of a 1-2-2, what we're seeing with that odd front. You were saying something about the 1-3-1.
Yeah, I was just going to say Chris Mowry always thought the back end was the best because you didn't have to run like a maniac left to right, like a Komodo dragon running left to right as the one out front. Never mind, it was a joke. It wasn't.
No, I got you. But actually, one of the things I thought was you wanted your two best defenders on the bottom and on the top. And that bottom person, if they're doing it right, Chris, is really working hard corner to corner because they have to cover both corners.
Right.
And that's a lot of work. But I always liked having, Grace is doing a great job because she's an active hand defender. And you better be really quick and have a lot of energy. That's a good shot right there from the corner. But you got to be really quick.
Sturry, well done with the box out.
You got to be really quick at the top if you're not long and lanky. And, Grace has that going for her.
Madison Hoffman, as mentioned, she's going to check in here. She's at the Sid Suds substitution station, and she will be checking in. Lauren Green, little spinner, left hand up and in, 10-0. Ashland, what a start for these Arrows.
Well, Coach Dummermuth, you would think, might be thinking about a timeout, but he's letting his group keep rolling. He's got some veterans out there with 3 seniors and a couple of juniors.
There's the timeout, BW.
Or 4 seniors, I'm sorry, 4 seniors and a junior. He was trying to let them kind of work through it, Chris, but going to get the timeout.
Coach Dubermuth is called timeout, but not before the Arrows put 10 points on the board, 3:44 to go here in the first quarter. We'll be right back right after this.
Simonson Construction is proud to sponsor Arrows Athletics, the most trusted and efficient construction company in the region. With a long history of doing things the right way from concept to completion, Simonson Construction solves all your construction needs for commercial and public projects. A truly local company providing award-winning comprehensive design-build services since 1974. For more information, scan the QR code or go to simonsonconstruction.com. Come visit the South Street Grill in downtown Ashland.
Couple Sid Suds substitutions. Madison Hoffman in and Josie Van Tilburg also in for the Arrows. And the Arrows looking to find Kennedy Lacey. She's getting held, and they call a double dribble on Cameron. I thought they might get an offensive foul or a defensive foul there holding Kennedy as she was trying to get through the painted area.
Yeah, Kennedy had good position inside actually afterward, and I didn't see the double dribble, but Mr. Reese must have saw it down there. One of our Valley transportation officials, the head of the steel and aluminum hauling industry for a long, long time. 1972, I think.
1973.
Oh, 73, yeah.
72, 73, we weren't born.
220, 221, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Good
Left
follow,
hand.
and we talked about one of the keys right there. Arrows with no box out on that one, allowing a putback by Ava Zobel.
Oh, right to the glass. The Mamba.
Yes!
Put that baby down. She's going for the old-fashioned three-point play.
There it is. You see it on your screen. What a nice, aggressive take to the basket by Lacey, and now she's got a chance to make it a three-point play.
Lainey McNamara going to get her first action of the day. She's going to sub in for Lauren Green. A good, deserved break for Lauren. The Arrows with a 10-point lead, 12-2, 3:04 to go in the Comfort Control first quarter. Lacey's foul shot up and out, no good. That ball is knocked out of bounds off Cameron Cox. It'll be Dover basketball.
At the Connery Manufacturing free throw line.
Kennedy averages 16+ a night, 7 boards, 4 assists, shoots it at 46% from the floor. She's having another all-around campaign. Obviously going to be another all-district player. We'll see if the All-Ohio honors come for number 12 this year as well. Her stats are stacking up to be such. Arrow basketball and that Dover turnover. I have to say, the thing that surprised me today so far through the first quarter is the amount of Dover turnovers that they've had.
Well, our defensive pressure has been great. It's been consistent. It's been patient. But now you've got a little different rotation, and so we'll see how it holds up. I think, and there's a turnover for the Arrows on a forced pass. You didn't have a really good angle on that one. Madison needs to create a better angle on that perimeter or just take your time. There's no shot clock in high school.
Kick it back out.
So you take your time, or you go to the corner where maybe Laney might have had a good look inside there to get it to Kennedy.
Good job of a press break here by moving the basketball by Dover.
I'm sure Coach Holt is happy to have a full complement of girls now. And look at that, hands, active hands by Madison Hoffman.
Yet another Dover turnover. Josie Van Tilburg throws a bounce pass at the ankles of Madison Hoffman, and that's going to be another turnover for the Arrows.
That accuracy and taking care of the basketball is so important, right? It really is crucial. Those minor, what may seem like minor plays or turnovers early on,
magnified late in the game.
Yeah, when a team makes a run and gets themselves back close.
That looked like one of Mallory's tosses from shortstop to the first baseman, who I didn't really care for in high school, and I would always short hop him in infield.
Well done.
Yep, you're welcome.
That's how they do it down in the Dale.
They sure do.
The academy, they teach us to love everybody.
Some people are soft and some people are tough. 1:45 to go here in the Comfort Control first quarter. 12-2 still, the Arrows. One timeout used by Dover's head coach Kyle Dumermuth.
Don't reach. Don't reach. She got herself in bad position and created that open shot in the corner. Arrows dodged a bullet right there, and you got to go grab that basketball. You watch that on a replay, putting a hand half in and not going all the way in for it. You have to go. If you want to play basketball on our teams, you have to be able to go and sacrifice your body in those situations. What I was trying to say was at the top of that, Laney has to be careful not to gamble too much on that, because what happened was she gambles and misses, and now somebody has to come and help, and you leave an open three in a corner.
Arrows certainly dodged the bullet there. A couple Sid Sud substitutions. Kennedy Lacey back in, and CeCe Sturry. And they're forcing it to Kennedy there. CeCe luckily got it, and she's got a wide open lane, goes to the rack, gets hacked, and she's going to go to the stripe for 2.
Great job. Great job and recognition, floor awareness to be able to identify what's going on there, CeCe Sturry. And you're right, though, Chris. They were trying to force it into Kennedy. You have to be patient and know the teams are going to try to double down on her. They're going to try as hard as they can to keep her from beating them. And so you got to know, hey, I can't try to force it in there. Take what the defense gives you.
Badia going to check in for the Mamba.
That's a good sub, and Coach Holt has done a nice job here in the first quarter of using her bench and giving her girls some time.
CeCe misses both. Shoots it at 63% on the year from the stripe. Not normal like her to miss both, but here we are, still 12-2, 63 seconds to go in the first quarter. Dover content just to play basketball outside the stripe with these passes. They're not yet looking for an inbound pass towards the painted area. Arrows playing great D out beyond the arc. Coach Holt employing her girls to get up in the ball's face and put the hand up in the passing lane. Good job so far by these Arrows. I would have been lying if I said the Dover Tornadoes were only going to have a deuce here at this juncture of the first quarter. Here's a triple attempt, no good, and Lauren Green pulls down that board. 30 seconds to go.
A lot of contact right there going up the floor. They're letting them play here. Morgan Karam is all over Lauren Green. Ooh, Mario had good position, tough angle.
Good job of finding that basketball before it goes out of bounds.
Let's get one shot here, okay.
Oh, there's another foul. That foul going to be picked up by Karam. That'll be her first, but Cece going back to the stripe.
I was just about to say, or I was saying, let's hold it for one shot, but, you know, in that situation, Cece saw a nice opening on that cut and a good job of trying to get her the basketball. Really well done. Look, you don't have to hold it until the last second if you can get yourself a good look like that.
Cece converts the first of 2 attempts, and a couple subs coming back in. Grace Tobias going to check in for Lainey McNamara here, just under 16 ticks to go in the Comfort Control first quarter. Cece averages over 8 a night. Gets the second to rattle around home. 2 of 4 on the night for Cece from the stripe. Heck of a quarter here for these Arrows. They lead the Tornadoes 14-2. 7 seconds. Here's a triple by Karam from the top of the arc, and that one is converted. That'll tighten up the Arrows' lead, but we're going to get one heave here.
Nope.
Grace didn't get it off. It would not have counted, had it went. It's 14-5. Ashland, come on back after this.
Bill Harris Dealerships, where great prices meet an even better selection. We're driving home the best experience you've ever had. With Chevrolet, Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, find the ride that defines you. And our huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks is why you should check Bill Harris first. 3 brands, 3 convenient locations, 1 unforgettable Bill Harris experience. Dive into great prices, explore a better selection, and enjoy the best buying experience with us today. Bill Harris Dealerships, the name you know and trust. BillHarrisDealerships.com.
We're back at Arrow Arena, 14-5. I'm telling you, folks, we say it about once every other broadcast, or sometimes broadcasts get out of hand, and then we say it about every 10 minutes. But the conversation in between the breaks is usually better than the commentary going out to the public.
Yeah, well, you know, no music man here today. Steve Paramore with a matinee also, the superintendent.
Look, it was going to be a 3-man booth today. The superintendent was going to join us, but he had a matinee performance at the Ashland Theater. He is on stage.
Yeah, if you're looking, they've got a show tonight, I believe, as well, right?
Yeah.
And tomorrow. So if you're looking for something to do, go down to the Ashland Theater, get some tickets to see the young folks and the music man and the superintendent, as some people have called him, Snow Day Steve.
Snow Day Steve. It's going to be cold weather, Steve, here this week. It looks like Tobias for 3. No good, but the Mamba, right spot, right time, but I'm not able to corral that one in. Lauren Green, good job. She's going to have a foul called against her. That'll be number 22, Bolin, her first foul. Keep in mind, I haven't mentioned it yet, but Zobel, their kind of streaky player, she's got 2 fouls already, Brandon, so something to keep an eye on. She is on the floor here to start the second.
Yeah, not a big bench. They don't generally play more than 1 or 2 off the bench for much time. Oh, great position inside by Kennedy. Tough shot. Gets it to fall. Lacey. She got the ball so low that there was no way they were going to stop that.
And Katie got a smile on her face down in Kentucky. She's got 8 points already. Sprang Smith, second quarter underway, 7 minutes, 25 seconds to go here before halftime. Reminder, halftime, you'll have uninterrupted coverage of the Jazz Band presented by Bill Harris Dealerships. Thought we were going to have a triple attempt there. Luckily, the Arrows closed out on that pass really, really well. Here is one by Karam. She's going to let that go no good, and the Mamba's got it in a hurry. She's trying to run it out before Cameron Cox down low, but the Mamba going to go to the goal and
travel. Yeah, that was good offense, though, by Dover on that last possession. So if I'm Coach Dummermuth, I'm a little encouraged by that, because against the zone, they went to the wing, hit the middle, and looked opposite, and got a good look on the 3 for Karam. It just didn't fall.
Did you see on Facebook that Josh Bullhead and JOT took on 2 Loudonville Redbirds on the floor?
I saw that it was going to happen. Josh Bull's not a guy I would want to mess with on the athletic contest.
Many levels.
Or in any way.
Let's be honest, many levels. Karen converts another 3. BB&C Car Care 3. She's got 2 swish tosses today, both 3-pointers. She's got 6.
I'm sorry, Chris. She's their leading scorer and shoots it at 35% from the 3-point arc. So I think the Arrows are going to have to be careful. Oh, great give and go. Oh, yes.
Cameron Cox, 4 points now for her today, and the Arrows back to a 10-point lead.
Little high-low right there with Kennedy to Cameron.
Yeah, we're going to have Jay Bullhead here join us as a Wickham and Hess pregame guest a little later in the season. That'll be some interesting conversation. He's been petitioning to go on at the start of the fourth quarter of the JV contest. He wants to get that much pontification on air.
Does he want to just break down the game?
I might just let him have the headset. I want to hear his best. I got Matt Dilgard in the fall.
We got 3 headsets. You don't need to give yours up.
Right.
I don't understand.
I was going to sit in the stands. Pulling off the glass for 2. 8-point Arrow lead.
Man-to-man defense right now for Dover. Good look to Lauren Green, who had good position. A lot of contact, but, Lauren Green initiated that contact, and that's why it wasn't called.
Yeah, no problem. It was a good play by Lauren Green, getting the ball down to the low post, going up left hand, strong. Nice job.
Yeah.
Good possession for the Arrows right there. Sometimes you have good possessions and no points show for them. Arrow's going to have to start putting a hand up in the shooter's face. That's a
good box.
That's a foul right there.
Good box by Cece. Didn't get the call, but that's okay. Mr. Lehman down there.
That would have been. Keep in mind that'd have been 2 on Bowl, and that'd have been huge.
Apparently he didn't like it, but it was a good box out by Cece. She did her job against a much bigger opponent under there.
But we will, getting back to JB, we'll have his best sales pitch. We did have Matt Dilgard's best sale pitch over at Hooster when he joined me in the pregame. We'll have JB's.
So what was Bull and T-Van, what was they were playing Loudonville coaches, and there was some kind of money.
Players. 2 players. There was a
donation.
grand a G was given to the Loudonville Redbird program, basketball program on behalf of Bill Harris Ford down there in Loudonville.
Yeah.
Great gesture.
I think Josh Bull runs that show down there now, right?
He does. He's the GM.
I bought an expedition from him once over there at Bill Harris, yeah.
You must not like money because you went to every gas pump in Ashland to fill that baby up.
It's a great vehicle.
Yeah.
You're not wrong, though.
No, it liked to drink. 18-10, Ashland over Dover here, 4:20 to go.
You put it on a tee, but I wasn't going to swing.
Well, usually I tee them up, and you drive it 180 yards in the middle of the fairway off towards the bunker on the right or left side, but not today.
180 yards
That's
off the
tee?
tee?
4th time I've said that, and the first time you've caught it.
Listen, if I hit a driver
total.
a 180 off the tee, you're going to hear some 4-letter words, especially if it ends.
Good.
It would probably be,
You're going to hear
clear,
good.
and it also starts with an F, but it's 4, F-O-R-E.
My man from the academy can pick it up and put it down in a hurry. 18-11 now.
When am I going to get an honorary Ashland High School diploma? That's what I really want.
I don't know. We're going to have the Maury Wells broadcast booth up here some point, I think.
Yeah, when we die.
Oh, Cece wide open left hand. Cam got that one. Cece battling hard.
Arrows
They're going
ball.
to give that basketball to Ashland. Good job by Cece, putting her body in harm's way and boxing out, trying for the team.
Yeah, I would think about using one of my timeouts here right now if I'm Coach Holt, just to give my girls a break. Not because they're playing poorly, but you started off like a ball on fire, right? And now you've cooled off a little bit.
Get 12
and
in
it's
the
an
game.
opportunity to maybe reset and get your girls a little break.
Oh, Madison Hoffman,
Nice.
fabulous job of crashing the glass. Doesn't bring the ball down. I love it. Goes right back up with it and gets that goal converted.
Boy, when she's engaged like that, that's a tremendous play. Good job by Madison.
The Mamba is at the substitution station. She will be coming in 20-11. The Arrows with a 9-point lead. 3:35 to go in the Spring-Smith second quarter.
You know, when you're in a zone like this, you have to really communicate, and you got to use your hands. The Arrows have been pretty good at that so far. Good flash to the high post for Dover. But you got to communicate and use your hands. And if you're watching right now defensively from the Arrows has been a clinic on zone defense thus far, other than maybe 1 or 2 possessions.
Nice job of cutting off the baseline.
That's just a great
there.
shot.
Yep.
That's a great shot. You can play good defense. You said it earlier. And Cam Allball with just a nice little pull-up.
Madison Hoffman going to the rack again. Doesn't get that one to go, but Cox down there fighting and unfortunately not able to pull it down. 20-13, that lead that was 10+ is now cut to 7 here. Under 3 minutes to go until half.
You got to treat every possession the same. And every possession needs to be treated critically, right? Like it's the last and most important possession of the game every time.
Swing pass, 3-point shot up, and fortunately for the Arrows, no good. The ball back tap by Madison, pulled down by Cameron. Good job on the glass there by the Arrows. 3 subs coming in for Ashland. CC Sturry, little floater, doesn't get that one to go. Look like Brother Grayson. Many shots that went through the goal here inside the arena.
And sister Alyssa.
Yeah, both of them.
That was a tough shot. I don't mind the drive to the basket. It's just a tough shot. We've had a couple of tough shots in a row here for the Arrows.
Lady McNamara, Grace Tobias, and the Mamba going to check in here on the next stoppage. Couple subs also for Dover.
Aunt Katie out there watching today, I imagine. Good
She's
steal,
here.
good hands by Lauren Green.
Yes, she is in Kentucky. I say it with all due respect as I've got 50% Kentuckian blood running through these veins.
Got to hold your position down low there, and if you're getting pushed, you got to exaggerate even more to make it known and try to draw that foul. So if you're Lauren Green, you got to kind of exaggerate and act it up on that play because she did get pushed.
I'd be curious to know the turnovers on both sides here in the first half.
Well, we don't keep stats in game here.
20-13, Arrows over the Tornadoes. Minute 25 to go. Dover looks a little more patient than they were early trying to force it. Now they've been content to pass out beyond the arc, and if they get a cutter or streaker, looking for them.
They were a little too impatient early against the zone, and now they're trying really hard. They don't really have a great true point guard, I think, on this Dover squad. Good hustle right there by Ava Zobel to track that one down. They've struggled, I think, with having, taking care of the basketball a little bit.
I would rather see Madison just go right to the goal. She's either going to make it or she's going to get fouled there at that instead of that little bounce pass. Rebound.
That's a jump, and it's going to be their ball because we didn't box out on the backside, right? And again, this is probably why I think 3 minutes ago I might have called a timeout to give ourselves a rest and let ourselves regroup. But here we are.
Mamba, Tobias, McNamara.
Everybody's an expert, I know. People are out there like, what a jerk. Yeah. Great
Steals
hands.
that ball. She's got an open, unimpeded lane to the layup, and she gets that one converted. Just when you needed a goal and a big defensive possession, Kennedy Lacey delivers.
And back into the three-quarter court pressure off the made bucket. Good job, good idea here by Coach Holt. I like it, throwing it back in after that made basket.
Arrows open back up a 9-point lead here. Great job by Lauren Green, and the Mamba's got it. We got 20 seconds, plenty of time for a shot. Slow.
Backside.
Slow. Oh, a triple from Josie Van Tilburg. Bucket. Arrows, biggest lead of the contest.
I'm glad that went in because Kennedy had 2 girls on the backside open too.
Dover going to have to hurry to get a shot off. We're under 3, though. We have a steal by Lauren Green.
Gotta fire.
Lauren's going to put it up.
Nope.
It's not going to count if it goes. And a heck of a first half of basketball. Ashland with a 25-13 lead. BW, quick thoughts before we go to half.
Well, man, I mean, my quick thoughts are that was an awesome first quarter and a great end to the second quarter, all keyed by our defense in that zone in the half court and the three-quarter court pressure.
Stick around for the Ashland High School Jazz Band, courtesy of Bill Harris Dealerships. 62 seconds on the clock until we get to third quarter underway. The Sprang-Smith third quarter. Quick look at scoring for the Arrows. 2 points for Tobias, 10 for Kennedy. 2 for Lauren Green, 2 for CC. Those are from the stripe. 2 field goals, 4 points for Cameron Cox. Madison Hoffman has a field goal. Josie Van Tilburg with that massive three-pointer at the end there at the first half. All ball for Dover with 3 points. Zobel has 2. Bolin has 2. Karam, their scorer, has 6. Those add up to 25 for Ashland and 13 for Dover. Brandon, it was a heck of a first half here inside Aero Arena.
Sure was. There wasn't a whole lot of things I would say that we need to improve upon. I thought defensively was the key to the whole first half, and it's going to be the key. The first couple minutes of the second half, you can set the tone and kind of put your foot on the throat, figuratively speaking, of the Crimson Tornadoes if you had a weather machine to shut down the weather. Do you think there's weather machines? Some people think there are.
They're called DEWs. Anyways,
I knew I could get you going on a conspiracy theory.
I love that all my conspiracy theories are proved accurate. Just give it some time. Just give it some time, and they're all proven accurate. On the floor for the Arrows, Lauren Green, Grace Tobias, Cameron Cox, Kennedy Lacey, and CC Sturr. You forget what county you're in and what color it is and what the percentage is sometimes.
But the funny thing is, never mind.
It's probably better.
Probably best. We'll save that for our own personal YouTube page.
Oh, Lord. That ought to be a riot.
Oh,
that YouTube page will be making its broadcast debut. Here's a three-pointer by Sturry, just off iron. Most likely this June at the Lobo. That ought to be interesting.
Well, we'll see if that happens.
Exactly.
I don't know.
It would be fun.
Third quarter is brought to you by Sprang-Smith Agency, our good friends over there at Sprang-Smith, Dustin Crudy, Rob Wash, Nate Schultz, whatever you need. They've got all of your insurance needs covered. That's my insurance agency. They take care of all of my needs, and had a few things happen that I've needed their help. They've been just fabulous.
I think you need to get a hold of those guys still, from what I understand. 25-13, Ashland. Mamba skies for that rebound. Pulls it down.
Yeah, a little zone here from
3-ball. Lauren Green doesn't get it to go. Good shot and good play. I would have rather seen Cameron just pick the ball up there instead of trying to back tap it in.
She got a push in the back by Ava Zobel. At least that's what got called. And I think Ava was incredulous. That's her third. I think Cam kind of had a wry smile on her face there too, saying, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Man-to-man right now here for Dover, actually.
And Zobel, keep in mind, she's got 3. She's a big player for these guys, and she is guarding Kennedy, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, and they've only got 2 on the bench that have seen any action. Olivia McHugh over there.
Kesher.
Keisher.
Long E, short E.
Quiche, like quiche.
I don't eat that stuff.
It's French for awesome breakfast.
Nice play there.
Can you spell it?
Karam.
Can you spell quiche?
No, I don't eat it. I can spell things that that a lot can't, but there's also things that I can't spell that a lot can.
Listen, it's a pie with egg and either vegetables or bacon or sausage in it. What's wrong with that?
That's called an omelet, dude.
Not with a crust, you genius.
You don't even know how to turn your stove on, let's be honest.
You're not wrong.
6:30 to go in the Sprang-Smith third quarter. Arrows up by 12 points.
That's why I go to South Street Grill.
Smart.
If you're down there watching today or maybe on Monday or next week, we've got all kinds of broadcasts. Thanks to our host for all Arrows athletics here on the Arrows YouTube channel. Brandon Wells and Chris Mowry up here in the pre-dental broadcast booth. Arrows and Tornadoes both coming in 9-3. Arrows undefeated in the conference. This is a non-conference game, Chris, but Dover going to jump in.
It's a preview.
Next year, and then it will be quite a challenge.
And then reminder, Dover's going to join the league in every sport next year. Is a 3-ball by Karam yet again, and she gets that one to go. She's a dangerous weapon for these Tornadoes. She's got 9. Yeah, exactly where I was going is where you were going. Except football, that'll be in 2 years. Grace Tobias for 3, no good. We need a little bit more offensive rebounding exertion here by the Arrows underneath their own goal.
That was a quick shot. Everybody was still out on the perimeter, and good. Actually, Chris, to be honest, I think if we watch that again, you'd see a really good box out by Dover all around. All 5 girls on Dover boxed out right there.
That's what you're supposed to do, right?
That's what they say.
Mamba in a hurry, going towards the goal. She's got to get a little floater up, doesn't get it to go. Cameron Cox going to try and get that rebound, and she does. Back to Lauren Green. Arrow's going to reset.
Good hustle by the Arrows. Little spacing issue right over there. Got a spread. I'm all right with overloading the side, but you got to be careful. Good take to the basket, Lauren Green.
That was a fantastic job of using the pick set by Cameron Cox at the top of the lane there. It goes right around it, uses it, and gets an easy converted goal. The Arrows' first 2 points of the Spring Smith third quarter. Lauren Green's got 4. Still in that zone, Coach?
Yep, still playing a zone.
And have a travel violation called against Dover, and these turnovers continue to mount.
Yeah, and if you don't spend a lot of time on your zone offense and you come in and you see this, you know, that's obviously going to be a challenge because you want to have, you know, a couple different zone offenses, you know, against the odd front, even front, or, you know, some people will have one that it can go either way.
A couple substitutions. Lainey McNamara. Madison Hoffman check in. I've had a heck of a 2 days with the English language. 27-16 Arrows up by 11. Nice
what a pass.
dish. My gosh, how good is that? That'll make Coach Holt smile. Looks like her old deliveries here. You can see it on the replay yet again. Little underhand pass to Cox, and she puts it up and in for 2.
Sarver paving replay. Great court awareness right there by Kennedy. They left the girl wide open because of the gamble, and Keisher puts it up and in. But, you know, sometimes you gamble on the back end of that press like that. That happens, and you give up an easy one.
Madison Hoffman got an uncontested layup. Got it to go. Nice job of off the dribble, taking it to the goal. Madison Hoffman now has 4 points.
Good answer for the Arrows in that three-quarter 1-2-2 coming at you right now as well.
I think the key for the Arrows, if they can just limit their turnovers, their offense is clicking, the defense are playing really, really well. I think they've got a good chance to win this game if they can just limit these stinking turnovers.
That's the name of the game, I think, particularly on the girls' side, is limiting turnovers. Dover has had about a dozen so far today.
Great pass by Madison. Grace Tobias up and in left hand. See it here yet again.
Yeah, love showing that on the Sarver paving replay. Great job, really good dish. Arrows playing some unselfish basketball, Chris.
Arrows opened up their biggest lead, 15 points of the afternoon. Here's a triple by Bolin. No good. Madison Hoffman, long rebound. They're going to have a foul called, I believe, on Bolin here. It is. That is Ainsley Bolin's second foul of the day. Since substitutions checking in, Josie Van Tilburg and Lauren Green, the Mamba and Grace Tobias going to get a well-deserved rest. Mamba's got 10, Grace Tobias 4 here.
This is what happens. I'm showing people we often get so excited halfway through the game we start standing up here in the Pre-Stental broadcast booth. Hey, the band has taken off. They were great.
They're fabulous. Undefeated.
They were so good, so good.
Undefeated. Zane Alleman, I think I said it correctly. Alleman has taken over for Neil Liebert, an Ashland legend. An authentic Ashland legend, Neil Liebert.
My BF, my big friend.
He's got his own band that travels down and goes to the South Street as well.
Yeah, I think it's vintage
57 Chevy.
Vintage 10 or vintage 20. I forget what it is. I'm sorry, Neil. But yeah, Doug Cooper plays with those guys sometimes. They've got a good group.
Zobel goes up off the glass.
Just the first foul for Cam Cox.
Yep.
Yeah, we talk about South Street and all the music that happens down there. And
great partners of ours, the South Street Grill. Great partners of Ashland City Schools, let's be honest. Did you know that the South Street Grill, when I had a hand in putting together the boys golf outing, they had a player on the team, Aiden Baker. And said, well, we need to feed everybody. And before they opened, going to pay for sandwiches. And they said, no, you're not doing any of that. We're just going to donate it. And we're going to come and bring our servers, and we're going to serve everybody as a thank you to the community and a thank you to the boys golf team that's meant so much to our son. And they still continue that to this day. Amazing people, Sean and Carly Little. Mamba goes up and gets a elbow in the kidney, I think, or the lung, and throws it up. She's going to go to the stripe for 2.
Yeah, she took a shot there. She's a tough kid. Tougher than me or you.
No, about that. Yeah, she did grow up in the country, so that's right.
She didn't grow up in Cuyahoga Street.
She didn't.
The mean streets of Cuyahoga Falls.
No. She didn't attend the pharmacy for a lot of years either.
I'll tell you, though, Cuyahoga Falls, Chris, was not actually, there were streets I didn't walk down.
And let me tell you, in Hayesville, we walked down all the streets. We knew everybody in the town, right?
You rode a four-wheeler from like the age of 4.
That's right. That's right. And a moped from 14 on. Those were some of the greatest days, those 2 years from 14 to 16, I'll tell you.
The MOD?
It was a Derby. You can look it up. 1983 Derby that Priscilla bought me. My gosh, did I run some fuel through that thing. 34-20, Arrows lead. Madison Hoffman, a little turnaround.
That's not a good shot.
No
nobody underneath, and that's the shot that you can't have right there, and you got to have better shot selection.
CeCe Sturry going to check back in here on the next stoppage.
Good skip
nice
pass.
Box out by Lauren. Good job. But that
Got it to
three-pointer is going to go. We got a timeout on the floor by Dover. They've tightened the lead up now, 34-23.
Bill Harris Dealerships, where great prices meet an even better selection. We're driving home the best experience you've ever had. With Chevrolet, Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, find the ride that defines you. And our huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks is why you should check Bill Harris first. 3 brands, 3 convenient locations, 1 unforgettable Bill Harris experience. Dive into great prices, explore a better selection, and enjoy the best buying experience with us today. Bill Harris Dealerships, the name you know and trust. BillHarrisDealerships.com.
Bo Lacey Construction is proud to sponsor Arrows Athletics. Experience you can trust done right on time. From siding to windows, decks, and bathrooms, Bo Lacey also is your go-to company for all your roofing needs. Whether it's your house or your business, we've got you covered. And don't forget to check out the new Hover 3D app so you can see what every exterior home project will look like when it's finished. Scan the QR code.
34-23, the Arrows still lead the Tornadoes, 1:50 to go here in the Comfort Control third quarter. Arrows are going to send back out CeCe Sturry, the Mamba, Josie Van Turlberg, Lainey McNamara, and Lauren Green going to play the big position. I like to get a Coach Luke reference, the bigs in every contest.
I think it's more of a Kenny Rhoda.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Reference,
the road man.
Yeah. But
He was
right.
great. I'm surprised he never got another job up in the Cleveland media market.
Didn't deserve it.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding. Roadman was a nice.
He was
man.
fabulous, I
It
thought.
just, but
The Steeler stick wore old.
That's why.
Yeah.
100%.
The Steeler stick wore old really
You're
quickly.
from here. You shouldn't be rooting for the Steelers.
Cameron Cox going to check in for Josie Van Tilburg. So
I get like Styles O'Brien and the family.
Yeah, they're
You got a
from
lot
there.
of yeah, but like you grow up here, you were just a front runner. That's bad parenting, Chris.
fabulous job of the Mamba. She's got 13.
Bad parenting by the Roadman's parents.
And really stupid career move for him to be just publishing it time and time and time again.
Well, it was antagonist. He was an antagonist about it, you know.
I mean, look, the Browns are the most easy target in professional sports because of the stupidity year in and year out. There's a triple by Bowler,
Yeah,
and that's
skip
converted.
pass. I'm sorry, Chris. Good
That's all
skip pass right there for Dover. And they're hanging around, right? They've cut it to 10.
Mamba with a jumper pull up from a little bit past the elbow, no good.
Too quick of a shot. We've gotten a little too impatient on the offensive side, and we're not rotating quick enough against the skip passes here on our half-court zone.
Coach Holt still got all 5 timeouts, so she can easily call one here if she sees something she doesn't like.
Under a minute now and a third. You don't want to burn one here, but yeah, you're right. You got 5 heading into the fourth quarter, and when you jump out to such a huge lead, then you know, especially the way we're playing with a lot of full court or three-quarter court pressure.
Zobel finds her with the left hand, uncontested layup, converted for Dover. We're now at an 8-point lead. Pfeiffer's first 2 of the night. That ball going to remain with Ashland. 27 ticks to go. Grace Tobias checks in for Lainey McNamara.
That play right there, I get that you're trying to get it inside, but that's a tough lob. You have to be able to create a closer distance between you and your defender and take a step around and make a better entry pass there.
You are not going to steal the ball from the Mamba when she's got 2 paws on it. Cameron Cox up, no good off the glass.
They can cut this to a 6-point or a 5-point game right here.
Arrows need a big stop right here.
It's the closest it's been since early in the first quarter.
Zobel going to go up left hand. She doesn't get it to go, and no box out. Gets her own rebound, throws it off the side of the glass.
Oh, boy.
That counts if it goes. Oh, Lord, and it does go. Huge bucket. That lead for the Arrows has shrunk to 5 as we head to the fourth quarter.
Bill Harris Dealerships, where great prices meet an even better selection. We're driving home the best experience you've ever had. With Chevrolet, Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, find the ride that defines you. And our huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks is why you should check Bill Harris first. 3 brands, 3 convenient locations, 1 unforgettable Bill Harris experience. Dive into great prices, explore a better selection, and enjoy the best buying experience with us today. Bill Harris Dealerships, the name you know and trust. BillHarrisDealerships.com.
Well, biggest lead of the game was 15 for these Arrows inside the third quarter, Brandon. That has shrunk to 5 with that three-pointer off the fingertips of Ainsley Boland. She's got 11, and, boy, we got a contest in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that third quarter because it was you're allowed to have a bad quarter. You're still up 5, but you got to answer here coming out in the fourth, Chris. And I said it in the last couple minutes. Dover did a good job of adjusting against the zone that quarter, making some skip passes, hitting the middle, looking opposite. And then, defensively, we got a little lax. There's no doubt, and we took some bad shots on offense.
Dover won the third quarter 18-11, so that's where we find ourselves, 5-point lead. And
that's another one where you're just playing iso ball instead of moving the basketball the way we were early in the game.
Tale of 2 teams here that we've seen in the first half and we've seen in the second half so far for Ashland. Still in that 2-3 zone are these Arrows. Cameron Cox defending the paint. Kennedy Lacey joining her along with Lauren Green down on the block. Sturry and Tobias up on the wings. Here's a three-pointer by Boland yet again. My gosh, you got to get a hand in her face. Might have to get out of that zone, Brandon.
Well, I was just going to say, Chris, this is where, I love zone. I talk about it all the time, but you also have to be able to mix it up and say, hey, maybe coming out of this quarter, we play man for a possession or two just to mix it up. But, they're hitting shots right now. Dover's got hot. They were cold early. Our defense did a good job early, and we got a weird spacing issue. And a minute in, we call a timeout. And that's the right call right there by Coach Holt. Arrows are kind of not in any kind of rhythm on either end of the court right now, a minute into the fourth quarter, and all of a sudden you're a 2-point game that you were up by, 16 points earlier in the ball game. So tough stretch.
Yeah, surprising here. Good call, good timeout used there by Coach Holt, obviously. 6 minutes, 55 seconds to go in the Comfort Control fourth quarter. Nicely attended contest here inside Arrow Arena on a warmish, how about that, warmish Saturday afternoon, the warm before the cold front comes in.
It is a warm-ish day, right? And, yeah, we've got broadcast on Monday. You're on assignment on Monday, so Dave Swartz, former girls head coach, and I will be on the call on Monday for the girls game against Tri-Valley. As long as that game holds up and stays, stay tuned, to the Arrows YouTube and the All Sports Booster Club and Ashland Girls Basketball over on Facebook or on, at Coach Wells on Twitter, at Mallory K with a Chris with a K, I should say. Give you some updates on that, but yeah, hopefully the adjustments were there, and here at this timeout, a critical juncture in the ball game right now.
Stick around after the post game for the Jandy post game show. Coach Holt join us and BW's post game takes, and Lauren Green luckily in the right spot. The Arrows got bailed out on what
that was a bad call.
That
was a bad call. I mean, Arrows were definitely bailed out. We threw the ball away on what would have been a turnover, number one. Because we were just too impatient, right? And then, thankfully, Lauren Green was on the backside, but that was a good block.
I don't know how that's not a shooting foul. Like,
yeah,
if you're going to call the foul there, which there wasn't one, how do you not call it a shooting foul?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Good block by Cam Cox. That's she got her good. Yeah, Cam got her pretty good there. She's a strong young lady, and that was a lot of contact.
Moving screen?
I think she just gave a little extra push into it.
Okay.
Just a little something. If you lean at all like that, but it also, Cam's strong. Cam is a strong young lady, and she ran into a brick wall. I'm not sure I would have called that, but that's a tough one.
Arrows need to find their rhythm, and they need to find it in a hurry. Limit the turnovers, start creating some on defense, just like they've been playing in the first half. And there's one right there where the Arrows find themselves. They're going to get an easy run-out ball here, and a goal converted by Lauren Green. Just what the Arrows needed. Lauren Green's got 6 now. Here comes that full-court press that you were talking about, Brandon. The Arrows employing Grace Tobias on the basketball, full court here.
Yeah, but it's man-to-man right now, so you've dropped into, I believe, well, it's hard to say. Maybe we'll see once they make a couple cuts. Now, we've switched into a man-to-man.
Nice
that was
switch.
out of that timeout. That was the adjustment, and it's working.
Get on the floor.
Go get it, Cam.
Good job. Good job.
Oh, that's
There's
a
a
foul.
foul. That's going to be Boland. She's going to pick up her 4th, Brandon. That is huge for the Arrows here. 6 minutes still plus to go in the contest. And the leading scorer here, Boland, with 14 markers on the night for Dover, picks up her 4th. Huge, huge potential momentum shift here.
Well, the switch back to it, at least for the time being, of man-to-man is a good move. What are we doing here? Just go to the back. There you go. All right. Good job. Had a little stack, but if they're not guarding both of you, all you have to do is one of them pops out. Good screen there by Kennedy.
Time for the Mamba to get the basketball and find the bottom of the nylon here on this possession, if you ask me, Brandon.
Cam's
Nice
she's got to rip through. Good job of getting low position.
Ask for it, and you shall receive. The Mamba gets her own rebound, goes up. She does get fouled and bailed out yet again by the officials, I would say, by the Arrows.
Yeah, that's a fair statement. Kennedy had great position down low, which was awesome, but couldn't finish on that one, and thankfully Kennedy gets to the line.
You can hear the Dover faithful.
Well, they're right, Chris. I'm really slow anymore to criticize officials, right? I've learned my lesson, but I will tell you that's back-to-back calls that have gone in the Arrows' favor. We'll just say it that way.
Lacey gets the first of 2 from the Conner Manufacturing stripe. She's got 14, looking for the 15th point, and she does get it. She's just about her season average is 16. 5:37 to go in the cover control 4th quarter, and the Arrows expand it back to a 6-point lead. Grace Tobias still featuring that full-court press, man-to-man.
Well, she does a good job of knowing when to turn and run if they get by you. Well, good drive to the basket.
Zobel off the glass, left hand. She gets it to go. 4 points now for her, and she'll go back to the stripe. Pfeiffer going to check in here on the next stoppage after this first foul shot attempt for Dover.
Did they count that basket?
They did.
Did they count it on the scoreboard?
They did not.
Okay, I'm just double checking because it should be 40-36.
Maybe,
there it is.
yeah,
now we got it.
There we got it. And the foul shot missed, but the Mamba pulls down what probably, I'm going to give her 9 rebounds. I don't know what it is because we don't have stats, but 9 rebounds we'll go with. So approaching a double-double, Cam Cox.
Listen,
swish.
That great job by Cam running a passing lane, but that was all Madison Hoffman making the right basketball play and being unselfish and hitting the cutter in the middle. Good job.
I think she listened to the Arrows Broadcasting Network there after that timeout. And
I'm sure the staff told her the same thing.
Absolutely, sure. Not a critique. It's just trying to get better. Here's a 3-point shot, no good, and Cameron Cox pulls down that air ball, and she is running left-handed off the glass, goes up and gets it to go with the right. How about that, coast to coast?
It's a great answer by the Arrows here in the last minute and a half after the timeout.
Big deal here for the Arrows. They've opened up another 8-point lead. 4 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Lauren Green going to check it back in for Ashland on the next stoppage. But you feel like if Dover doesn't get a goal here, they're in.
A lot of basketball left.
There's a lot, I agree. It's just the momentum swing is massive in this game, as you know, especially in the ladies' game. About to have a 5-second call. No, never mind. You got to count for a 5-second call. Boland, 3, no good. 2-on-1, Dover versus Ashland.
Grace Tobias was trying to box out 2 girls underneath.
Yeah.
Second chance. That's a big one.
Good job, Cameron. Mamba's got it.
No numbers here. Let's reset here.
Good
Get a good
job.
shot. Yep. Come and get it. Come and get it. Somebody else. Oh, good look.
Oh, look at this. Little dive down low. Cameron Cox off the glass left hand. The Ward Real Estate bank shot.
Here it is on the replay. Nice job. Great court vision. That's why it's so important to keep your eyes up at all times with the basketball. Cam Cox did a good job keeping that basketball up and finishing with a left hand.
Arrows were once ahead by 2. Now they're up by 10. 3 minutes plus to go. Here's a triple by Dover. No good, but that one's going to go off of CC out of bounds. Looked like Dad Rich Sturry was trying to corral that one, but usually it's off his butter hands. And that'll be Dover basketball.
You called it using that backboard, the cbward.com backboard.
Dover not in any hurry right now. I am with you that there's a lot of basketball left, but nonetheless, calm out here with the ball, and this possession is the Tornadoes.
Well, they're not running anything offensively right now, and when you're playing against a man-to-man, you either have to come and set a ball screen or run some kind of motion, but right now when you're down 10 and you got 5 out, you got to do something. You run flex, run a set, whatever you want to do, but standing around and
we watch a lot of that.
Letting that clock run down. You said that, not me. Yeah.
Kennedy Lacey picks up her first player foul today. Mamba's got 15, and the Arrows a 10-point lead. And that one goes off at Grace Tobias's back. Jeez, out Pete. They get a little rough out here, BW.
Yeah, that's okay. It's a physical game. Basketball's a contact sport. It doesn't matter if it's boys or girls. I think the refs have done a good job of letting them play for the most part. That's a foul right there. Sometimes officials, I will tell you, call girls' games too tight because I think there's some sort of implicit bias of like, oh, we can't let the girls battle. And I think that's bogus. But these guys have done a good job of letting them battle, Chris.
Timeout called by Dover's head coach Kyle Dubermilth, a 30-second variety. We'll keep it right here. 10-point lead for Ashland, 2 minutes, 37 seconds to go in the Comfort Control fourth quarter. This would be a monumental win, one of the biggest wins that the Ashland girls program has had in some time. If we can pull this one off and move our record to 10-3, 7-0, perfect slate in the OCC. And then if you can get one on Monday, man, oh man, that would be 2 stacked wins on top of each other. We talked about it in the pregame. The Arrows have won 8 out of their last 10. They're on quite a run.
Great run. Best start in 30 years for the Arrows girls squad, and there's a reason. Coach Holt has them playing well. She's made some great adjustments this year, I think. 2.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and mixed in some zone, mixed in some three-quarter court pressure offensively. They've been a little up and down offensively today, but for the most part, playing really well.
It'll be Dover's basketball on the baseline.
High screen, that inbounder is, now you got the girl in the corner. Oh, they both went.
Zobel's quick. Left hand up, no good. And the Arrows, Kennedy Lacey going to pull that one back down.
That was a great set that Coach Dubermilth ran right there. Had a couple different options and just couldn't get the look that they needed, and they had some opportunities there.
Coach Dubermilth in his 5th season. Timeout going to be called, 30-second variety by head coach Renee Holt of Ashland. He's in his 5th season. He spent a lot of years also being a varsity assistant on the Dover boys side as well, and then this job opened up. He applied and then took that. So, and they've had a good run under Coach Dubermilth as well.
Yeah.
And Dover, look, Dover's good at everything, right? It doesn't matter what sport, they've got that.
Seems like it.
We talked about it last night. West Holmes, were bludgeoned by our Arrows last night, but some of these schools, Dover, West Holmes, you got to throw New Philly in there. These are just tough schools. They grow up the right way. They're parented right, and they're physical. They're tough, and they're good of a lot of sports. And it's good to see the OCC is going to get stronger top down.
Yeah, I just don't like the commute. Selfishly.
Listen, you don't like driving on 250. That's what it is.
Well, you get stuck behind the buggies, and
that happened to us going to New Philly 2 years ago. Gosh, that was about an hour and 47-minute drive.
That was long.
Yeah. Mamba going to the glass.
Get in there.
Doesn't get it in, but she does draw the foul. She'll go to the stripe for 2. Mamba's got 15. Couple from the charity stripe. She shoots it at 61% from the county manufacturing foul line.
She's so strong when she goes to the basket.
Yes.
Nobody's taking that basketball away from her.
No.
And she's improved, and she's just so good at getting to the basket. I still think that next step for her going into next year in the offseason, man, gotta get that range, right? If you want to take that next step going from a sophomore to a junior next year, she's got to extend her range to the three-point play. If she's able to become a three-point shooter, even just as a decent threat, Chris, then she's going to be absolutely unstoppable. Unstoppable, Chris. But she's got to develop that in the offseason this year. And that's where, the college coaches will be looking at that. They'll be, to try to evaluate what level she can play at. And just from how far can this Arrows squad go, right? I think that's going to be a big step next year because most of these girls are back next year. You're going to have another good year next year.
She's a sophomore, folks. Let that sink in. And we're talking about this level of critique, which is not critique. It's not rude.
Critique.
It's just about how you get better, right?
No, that's not a critique. It's just one of the things that, you've got 2 seniors on this team that are coming off the bench. So you have an opportunity to make a big step. What a pass. Oh, a little too much there for Lauren, but a great look for Kennedy there. Sometimes you can be a little too unselfish, and that was an example of that one for
What I say is it's self-critique and self-evaluation. How do you get better, right?
Well,
How do you get better?
It's us evaluating them.
All right.
Such a jerk. I know. I'm sorry, Chris.
We're cutting the hair in about 75 strands here. And the hair is almost non-visible to the human eye. That's how minutia we're getting into the detail and the weeds, my friend. Arrows with a lead of 48-36.
This one's
12 points.
almost in the book.
Yeah.
You can almost book this
You
one.
can almost. We haven't had that call a lot today. A couple three-pointers. Josie Van Tilburg's was huge there at the end of the first half.
It helped answer the run that Dover made. Yeah, and put a little distance between the Arrows and the Tornadoes.
11-point lead, 1:20 to go.
And they got a foul, and they had to right now start playing the fouling game, and that's wise. Morgan Karam picks up the foul. This is smart. You got to get into the bonus and stop the clock. And Coach Dummermuth doing a good job of getting his girls on the same page. Don't forget about our turning point of the game, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you it was exactly what you just said. It was that three, right?
Yeah.
So Josie Van Tilburg hit as an answer. And I think that was big because Dover had started to make a run. And so, your turning point of the game, built by Bo Lacey Construction, experience you can trust, done right on time.
Thanks to them joining us all season long in football and basketball, and I'm sure they'll rejoin us in baseball, and really appreciate them. You're going to have to start chucking it, and they do just that.
Wow.
That Dover squad can really shoot the three. Karam gets another triple to go. She's got 12.
That's her fourth three, Chris.
Yeah, 4 times 3, 12, and that's what she's got. 12 markers here, and the Arrows lead shrunk to 9. Feel pretty good about it, but nonetheless, you're going to have some foul contests coming on here, and Coach Dummermuth is going to have to play that game. The Arrows just quite simply going to have to knock them down from the charity stripe. If they do that, I like their chances.
Yeah, you got to play a little offense-defense here, too. So you've got Ava Zobel with 4 fouls, so you probably would sub her out right now. At least that's what I would do if I was coach, to get her out so you're not getting her 5th foul, because you're going to have to try to pressure, full-court pressure, and you're going to try to, you're going to foul if you can't. Maybe if they get it past half court, you're going to trap maybe one time in the forecourt, and then you're going to start having to foul again. But it looks like he's going to leave her in. So
stick around for the Janney postgame show. We'll have head coach Renee Holt join us. We'll have the Truax Printing player of the game. The hustle play of the game was already mentioned. That's courtesy of Bo Lacey Construction. The turning point of the game was that Josie Van Tilburg three-pointer answered from the corner pocket there at the end of the first half. And Monday, you and Coach Schwartz will be on the broadcast live here from the Priest-Dental broadcast booth to bring us the Lady Arrows take on the Scotties of Tri-Valley.
Dave Schwartz and I will be here. Looking forward to that one.
I'm going to try to check in and listen to Dave Schwartz as well with you on the call. And
it will be good to have Dave Schwartz here. I think, a little different perspective.
A little different role for you.
Yeah, he'll be the analyst, and I'll go back to my old-time role of PXP. That's play-by-play. That's what we call that in the business. A little flat. She's just a little flat right now on those free throws. You got to get a little more arc going. You're just going to be more consistent that way.
17 markers for the Mamba. Second attempt is up, and
there it is. Same thing.
result.
You just have no margin for error when it's flat like that. Fans wanted a travel on the Ashland side.
Ashland fans are quite loud on that. They're quite verbose.
Loquacious even.
Foul going to be committed by Dover, and Madison Hoffman will be heading to the charity stripe for 2 tosses here. 40 seconds, and the Mamba holding her shoulder. That's
not good.
No bueno.
Kennedy.
That's no bueno.
Is holding her left arm. Not good, friends.
She's heading to the locker room, folks. We don't have a report on her.
Hopefully just a stinger.
Yeah.
And might have kind of got caught funny. And she's a tough kid. So
she's really tough. She's moving around. That's good news. Not to worry, Aunt Katie, all's going to be okay. 50-40 here. Madison Hoffman converts the first. The second is up and converted as well. And Hoffman having quite a night here inside Arrow Arena. Arrow's going to come out victorious with this one. Brandon, 11-point lead here. 30 seconds to go. This is going to be a huge, huge, huge win for Coach Holt and her squad.
Yeah, we said this would be a barometer, and I know they're a little dinged up, are the Dover Crimson Tornadoes, but so their bench is a little thinner than it might normally be. But nonetheless, the Arrows are going to get themselves a big one and move to 10-3. Player of the game delivered by Truax Printing, your full-service commercial printing source in Ashland and Loudonville, truaxprinting.com.
The viewers are waiting on bated breath. So is your partner.
Well, I don't have to say it right now.
Okay, come on back. Cliffhanger.
There's still 28 seconds left in the game, Chris.
You've watched that movie, I'm sure. That
yeah.
awful Sly Stallone.
I liked it back in the day.
Terrible.
I mean, I haven't watched it since I was 16.
Listen, he's roping up frozen tundras with no rope, climbing.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was awful.
It was bad.
Look,
like most Stallone movies.
had Rocky not been created, Stallone would have been on food stamps as an actor.
You know, he wrote Rocky, though.
He stole Rocky, let's be honest. He stole the script.
Here we go. Here's another conspiracy theory.
Look it up. That is delivered to me courtesy of Arcadia's own Steve Handelsman.
I mean, listen, I've never heard that, so I'll have to do a
investigation when you're watching the 4:30 NFL kickoff today.
Yeah, I'm sure. Maybe I'll see what Alex Jones, your friend, has said about it.
I know him. He's in my phone. 9.5-point spread for the Chiefs and the Texans. Who you got?
Chiefs.
With the points.
For promotional and entertainment purposes only?
Facts.
Yes.
Okay. And the line of the day that's crazy is an 8.5-point Lions line with the Commanders. Who you got?
Commanders.
You're going to take the points in the Commanders.
Yeah.
Likewise.
I don't think they'll win, but you never know.
I am a fan. Look, Dan Campbell's far too good a head coach to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. So
Dan Campbell will flame out.
Well, his message works. And
it does
lifespan of a head coach in the NFL is about 5 years for a good one.
Yeah.
So it's working.
Yeah. I think he's going to make a monumental mistake in the playoffs.
I don't
something
disagree, but
ridiculous.
He's got them the most important thing, culture.
Don't foul.
53-41, Ashland.
Don't foul. You're up 12 points with 5 seconds to go. Don't foul.
That one's going to be thrown back towards the goal. No good. CC wanted one more rebound. 0.9 on the clock.
I say Kennedy. I think you're right.
All right.
Kennedy Lacey should be our. It looks like she's okay. She's
does.
back on the bench, and we can talk with her.
I think it was just a stinger, as you mentioned, and she is one tough young lady, and this is a huge win here for the Arrows, 53-41 over the Dover Crimson Tornadoes. I'm Chris Mowry. That's Brandon Wells. We'll be right back after this.
Simonson Construction is proud to sponsor Arrows Athletics, the most trusted and efficient construction company in the region. With a long history of doing things the right way from concept to completion, Simonson Construction solves all your construction needs for commercial and public projects. A truly local company providing award-winning comprehensive design-build services since 1974. For more information, scan the QR code or go to simonsonconstruction.com. Come visit the South Street Grill in downtown Ashland, the official watch location every Friday night during the Arrows football season. You can catch all the action in the bar area on the big screens. Elevated casual dining in downtown Ashland, steaks, seafood, hand-patted burgers, vegetarian option salads, and a huge kids menu. Something for everyone in a completely renovated, historic building. South Street Grill, your home for Arrows football.
Harris Dealerships, where great prices meet an even better selection. We're driving home the best experience you've ever had. With Chevrolet, Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, find the ride that defines you. And our huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks is why you should check Bill Harris first. 3 brands, 3 convenient locations, 1 unforgettable Bill Harris experience. Dive into great prices, explore a better selection, and enjoy the best buying experience with us today. Bill Harris Dealerships, the name you know and trust. BillHarrisDealerships.com. Harris Dealerships, where great prices meet an even better selection. We're driving home the best experience you've ever had. With Chevrolet, Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, find the ride that defines you. And our huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks is why you should check Bill Harris first. 3 brands, 3 convenient locations, 1 unforgettable Bill Harris experience. Dive into great prices, explore a better selection, and enjoy the best buying experience with us today. Bill Harris Dealerships, the name you know and trust. BillHarrisDealerships.com.
Bo Lacey Construction is proud to sponsor Arrows Athletics. Experience you can trust done right on time. From siding to windows, decks, and bathrooms, Bo Lacey also is your go-to company for all your roofing needs. Whether it's your house or your business, we've got you covered. And don't forget to check out the new Hover 3D app so you can see what every exterior home project will look like when it's finished. Scan the QR code.
Arrows victorious here. Huge win for these ladies. They improved their record to 10-3. They remain 7-0 in the OCC and have a handed 2-game lead on the OCC race. And Brandon said it earlier, what would be the first conference title in 30 years. They're off to their best start in 30 years. Today's player of the game is Kennedy Lacey. She'll be joining us, and you're joining us on the Janney postgame show. Check out Rich Sturry in Mansfield for all your financial needs. Kennedy Lacey, player of the game presented by Truax, was amazing today. She had 17 points. Got a little stinger there at the end. I think she's going to be just fine. It was just one of those. Sometimes they just bang you in the wrong spot, and it's like getting hit in the funny bone, right, Brandon?
Yeah, I've had that happen. When you're 16 or, it's easier to bounce back from. But I've also hit my elbow enough that lost feeling all the way in my arm. So, and that's scary, at any age. But for this team to continue to be successful, obviously they need to be fully healthy with all of their girls, including Kennedy, obviously. Today was an impressive performance by these Arrows. We had a couple of moments where we, I think, lost focus and either got a little tired or just, I think, really more had to do with concentration and focus in a couple spots. But Coach Holt reined them in and got them rolling again. What I loved seeing was that three-quarter court pressure, similar to the guys last night, actually, who didn't come out in it right away last night for some reason. But today the girls came out in that right away off made baskets, and we got off to such a great start. And when you get down that big on the road, if you're Dover, it's a hard process you expend a lot of energy just to kind of hang and stay even, and then you have to bounce back. And the Arrows were really patient in the first half offensively. I can only count on maybe one hand the number of really poor possessions. I'm not talking about a couple of turnovers. I mean, like, poor shots, I should say. So I think I have seen the growth and development of our girls when it comes to shot selection, right? I mean, you're going from what we had seen previously to a little more selfishness maybe, or just maybe unaware, to what we're seeing now, where they're starting to trust each other. They're starting to understand that, today I might not get my shots. I might not get my points. And that's hard. That's hard for all of us to put ourselves second or third or fourth or whatever it is on that squad and understand what your role is and what's a great shot. Because if you want to be a great team, you can't take good shots. You got to take great shots.
Yeah, there's many shots that you would say were forced shots early, right? And they're not. That's not the case here. Kennedy Lacey going to come up and join us. She's our Truax Printing Player of the Game, and fantastic season. I was right what I said, but also a fantastic game for young Kennedy, and she's going to join us here once she gets the headset on.
Yeah, she's ready to rock.
Good game today, Kennedy.
Thank you.
That was awesome. A huge win, 53-41 over Dover. What was the message from Coach?
First question. Are you all right?
I'm okay. Yeah, I
was
just
gonna get
hyperextended
to-
it backwards. Yep, that was all it was.
She's
A little
tough.
scare at the
man.
end there. Yeah,
I
I'm
think
all right.
you put Aunt Katie in a fear fright down
Oh
there
gosh,
in
no,
Kentucky.
I can only
She's
imagine.
okay. She's okay.
She
everybody.
hasn't texted or whatnot, but yeah, she's doing good. But congratulations on a huge win. Before I turn it over to Brandon, what was the message coming into this game,
Yeah.
you know, from Coach Holt and the group kind of thinking, hey,
Yeah.
we've got a big opportunity in front of us?
Yeah, definitely foot on the gas from the start. Keep going no matter what. They have the same record as us, and we saw that definitely as a motivation going into this game. But knowing that they're going to be in the OCC next year, I guess,
Yeah.
is like send the message already. Know
I
that
like
this is the OCC, you know.
It's our turf. This is our turf
Yeah.
and our territory. I like that. The three-quarter court pressure gave them a lot of fits early, and so
Yeah.
did the half-court 1-2-2.
Yeah. Definitely we communicated very well on that, knowing watch middle, watch the other back. But lots of steals, good. But yeah, we had a pretty good defense tonight.
That communication is one of the things
Communication,
I talked about was the two keys to that zone pressure, whether it's half-court or full or three-quarter, is hands, right? Active
Yes.
hands, moving
Yep.
hands, and communication. And I feel like you guys have taken a big step in trust, both
Yes.
offensively and defensively.
Yeah, we definitely have. Yeah, like I said, defense, keeping your hands out, don't swat down, keep your hands off of them, and communication definitely has made our game way better knowing that. Yeah.
Well, you've got a huge one on Monday, too. I
Yes.
mean, Tri-Valley, that was a game that was supposed to happen around Christmas time, and it got snowed out. But, I don't know what the record is today, but when we were going to do that game, they were, had only lost one or two games at
we saw that.
10-1 or something. So they're a good squad. I'm not
Yeah.
certain who they played, but nonetheless, anytime you win 10 out of 11, it's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
That's going to be another barn burner, and I would say in 30-plus years, that's probably the best opportunity for the Arrows to stack two huge wins back-to-back.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, we saw their record, and before we played them, we definitely had a hard practice before. And I know that if we keep the energy up, we can play just even better than we did today against them Monday.
This
Yeah.
is the best start
We're very-
in 30 years for the
Yeah.
girls program. You realize
Yes,
that?
I do know that.
I was your age, basically, the last time the Arrows had this good of a start.
Yeah.
So it's been fun to watch. What do you guys got to work on between now and just going forward down the rest of the season? What do you think needs to tighten up?
I think if we work on almost everything as a team, like become more as a team too, we have definitely improved on that, like working as a team and moving the ball very well. But yeah, just like boxing out, defense, just little
Basics.
things, I think.
Yeah.
If we improve on that, we'll be very good. Yeah.
I think you're right, because there wasn't one thing lately that has stood out to me that's like, well, we're really struggling that.
Yeah.
And really, there was only a couple of possessions tonight that I felt like we took bad shots. For the most part, we took really good,
Yes,
if
yeah.
not great shots.
Yeah.
When are we going to start seeing some threes? When are we going to start
man.
launching some threes? I said on the air, it's like
Yeah.
the next step for you, I think, going into next year, right, is that
Threes,
if you
yeah.
can extend your range, that's going to make
Yeah.
you unstoppable
Yeah.
at this level, to be honest.
That's definitely something I've been working on in the off season. It's just mid range, and then if I can keep pulling it back out,
Yeah.
then
You got some great shooters on that
Yeah, we
squad
do.
tonight. Yeah, just in
Yes.
general. Yeah.
Kennedy Lacey's got 17 points. She's our Truax Printing Player of the Game, and she also gets the Applebee's gift
Thank
card.
Yes.
you.
And congratulations. Really awesome to watch. Not only this year, it's really cool, but, last year, I think I speak for Brandon, too. We came to these games. We started doing them early, and it was just kind of like helter-skelter a little bit. And then you guys caught rhythm in the middle of the season. You're like, wow, this can really turn
Yeah.
into something. And you guys finished strong, and then this year you lose a couple early, but then you guys have reeled off now 9 out of 11 games.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome, and have a 2-game lead in the OCC. Congratulations to
Thank
you and your squad.
Thank you.
We'll be
Yep.
right back with Coach Renee Holt right after this.
Harris Dealerships, where great prices meet an even better selection. We're driving home the best experience you've ever had. With Chevrolet, Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, find the ride that defines you. And our huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks is why you should check Bill Harris first. 3 brands, 3 convenient locations, 1 unforgettable Bill Harris experience. Dive into great prices, explore a better selection, and enjoy the best buying experience with us today. Bill Harris Dealerships, the name you know and trust. BillHarrisDealerships.com.
Head coach Renee Holt joins us, and I'm going to say this. 30 years you're off to the best start of Arrow basketball. You're 10-3. You've got a 2-game lead in the OCC, 7-0. When you think back to the summer and you think back to when this team was last year as freshmen and sophomores, and you thought, man, they got some talent, but Now we got to put it together on the floor, and you guys are doing that now.
You know, my expectations were high, but they're blowing it out of the water right now. I knew what group I had, but the work they've put in and just the team feel, you know, everybody's buying in. Everybody's buying into that one more pass, trust in your teammates. You know, those things coaches love to hear, love to talk about. I'm seeing it.
I was impressed tonight with the ball movement offensively. There was only a handful of times where I said on the air, "Ooh, that was a bad shot."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we've talked about it. They know better.
Yeah, so. Right. And I think you even pulled one aside and said, "What are we doing right there?" But for the most part, you guys have gone from taking average to good shots and have made that, like you said, that extra pass and are now getting great shots so often. When you guys play unselfishly on the offensive side, I don't think you can be beat.
Yeah, we are starting to understand, you know, what's a good shot, what's a great shot.
Yeah.
And we can get a great shot every time.
Yep.
With the weapons we have, the three-point shooters, our post down low, every time should be a great shot. And, you know, that's hard to do, and it's hard to guard.
Some of the chemistry that I saw inside on some interior passing between Lauren, Cam, and Kennedy especially was fabulous to see.
That's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, right. And that's hard. Interior passing
Yes.
for bigs and for, I mean, it's not something that comes naturally, but you can see that chemistry really developing even from one game to the next, getting better and better. Tell me about the three-quarter court pressure in the zone and half court.
We've been working on it.
Looked great.
Yeah, our 1-2-2 is trapping, but we then drop into a couple different zones.
Yeah.
But one thing we kind of shifted differently this game was our man-to-man defense. We've been using our zones the past couple games, and they were hitting some crazy threes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we had to shift out of it. So I'm proud of our girls for making that shift because we don't play man-to-man defense that often.
Yep.
We can, but we just don't. And it's cool to see them make that shift and get some big stops.
I love it. I love the zone. Yeah.
The zone had it down okay, and you guys were playing good, getting in passing lanes, getting hands up, and getting steals and creating turnovers.
Yeah, and then Karam started hitting some bombs.
And then it changed. I actually said to Brandon on air right before, it was, I think, a 7-point, and then it became a 5-point. I'm like, about time to go man, coach? And he said, yeah. And then right then you went to man and called a timeout, and you come back out and man. And then it looked like the first half all over again with getting turnovers and creating opportunities and runouts and whatnot.
Well, kudos to Dover there. I mean, they started being patient with the basketball there in the second half.
Sound familiar? Isn't that what I said on the air?
We weren't speeding it up. We were kind of getting comfortable, especially in the third quarter. We were getting comfortable.
Yep.
We're just being lazy with the basketball, taking, you know, not the best shots, and Dover capitalized on it. And, yeah.
You beat a good team today, and you got another good team on Monday. You beat a decent Lexington team on Thursday. We swept them. I know that was my term, not the coach. Just to be clear, what are you looking for on Monday against Tri-Valley?
Another tough out-of-conference team. I mean, we started the year with some 3 tough out-of-conference teams, and I did that on purpose. You know, it challenges us, and it gets us ready for the OCC.
OCC play, and then when is the draw for the sectional?
Here at the beginning of February.
Okay, so we still got a few weeks.
Yeah. So we'll see teams like Norwalk, Madison, Mansfield Senior.
Okay.
Norwalk, we had them at the beginning of the year. Yeah.
It's a whole different alignment now with the sections, right?
Yes.
And no home games, is that right? Or are they still doing home? I might
have to look into that.
I haven't been able to get an answer on that either because of the realignment with divisions and sectionals and all that. So
great win, Coach. You're 10-3, 7-0, firm stranglehold on the OCC. That's head coach Renee Holt. I'm Chris Mowry. That's Brandon Wells. Take us home, BW.
God bless. Godspeed. Go Arrows!